Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's August 2nd of 2021. Just wanted to make a quick video. I actually made a couple video segments, and then I decided, which is unusual, usually when I make something, I go ahead and upload it, which is not a smart idea. You ought to try to strive for a little bit of, I don't. When I make something, I think, I am not going to, I made this and I'm going to upload it. Find some excuse, attach it to something. Well, I don't even want to attach it to something because that makes me have to do some editing. Uh, Everything is set up here pretty nice. I'm not sure if you're going to be seeing it now or not. I, I'm not doing it now. What I have moved the cameras a little bit, and because I've been making videos with maybe with a camera up here, I have, but I've been making the videos, and so what I want to do is one. This will be the screen that you will be seeing when I do the way the things want to. The control will be over here, which you won't be seeing, but I'll be able to see it, and I'll be able to do things like switch to, different things by doing it, like that. Of course, I don't want to be doing it a lot because then I'll be looking in this direction. So, but I've got a monitor here and a computer. What I want to do, and I'll need to be moving the microphone around here. What I want to be doing is facing this way. So I'll have a camera here, and maybe, I don't know where the other camera is going to go, a camera here. And I think it's more like what you expect when you're, you know, in a video chat, or if you're watching, something, the person is sitting here. And then on this monitor here, I can put uh, notes or other things that I want to remind me of stuff. But over here will be the things that I can see here, it's going to be a little bit of a, yeah. Well, it's my plan, but I don't think I recommended exactly, or maybe I did, Amazon Pharmacy. Well, I made a video on that. I think it's an hour video, so I cover everything in that. I just want to say that make sure, and don't depend on calling like I did Amazon Pharmacy. Make sure that you check if you have health insurance, and insurance that pays for your prescriptions or whatever. Make sure that you check with the insurance company, because I called Amazon Pharmacy and talked to somebody, and they said, oh yes, we take your insurance, and they don't. And then I notified my doctor's office that I was using a new pharmacy. I notified the pharmacy that I was using that they, that, and then Amazon Pharmacy was doing all. I was getting 2, 3, 4 emails from them saying we're having trouble, contacting your insurance company. We're this, we're that. Okay, everything's taken care of. Blah blah blah. And so I had a couple of prescriptions that were, like transferred over because they'd already been. A doctor had already sent to the Walgreens. So that was approved, but not for my insurance. But I paid a little bit more instead of $360 each for two, $360 and $360. I went ahead and paid I think it was $12 for both of them, or something like that. And I thought, okay, that I'll just get them that way, and without using the insurance. And then I'll have to, as soon as I get them, because it was, I'm out. Okay, yeah, here's this is empty now, but you've seen that thing that I put the pills in, so I have 1 week of medicine. Okay, so I'm okay for a week. And this is my heart medication, blood pressure medication, or whatever. And I take one, twice a day. So, and then I'm, then anyway, the latest was, they were going to send, Amazon Prime was going to send the 2 medications, and I'd get them on the 4th. Then they sent out a thing saying, oh, okay, we're getting out to you early. You're going to get it on the 3rd. And then today I got a thing saying, there's a little bit of a delay getting an okay for, not from the insurance company, but that the doctor has done the prescription, or I don't know, whatever. So anyway, I still think that Amazon Pharmacy can be good, but you need to make sure that your insurance, and don't trust them. I made a mistake. I don't normally do that. Well, of course, I'd rare to change the pharmacy, but usually I check with the insurance company. But this time because of the wording and stuff that Amazon Pharmacy had. But so anyway, and I'd put there for a few days, I'd put the Amazon Pharmacy down underneath the video so that you could click on it and, go there. I've taken that off. So, if you're interested, just go to Amazon, and up the top there's a pharmacy thing, and click. But buyer beware. So the other thing was, we have some information about it says the moment Haiti's chief president died, his wife says her assassinated husband died believing his security detail would save him. And she wants to know, why they vanished. That is such a mess, and Haiti is such a mess. The United States in the past has invaded so many countries, including Cuba, multiple times. And we've invaded countries in Central America and South America to overthrow legitimate governments because they were communist, or they were leftist, or our government or our CIA or somebody didn't like their form of government. And it's none of our business, really. Now I can understand, if it's really and I'm not going to go in because I've talked about it at length several times, 4 years, many times, about Cuba. Cuba had their revolution with Fidel Castro, and immediately, well, the Republicans, Eisenhower was president, but the key thing was Nixon was his vice president. Nixon had risen to power and all that type of stuff by just using the anti-communist thing. That was his thing. Fidel Castro, his revolution won, and immediately, of course, United Fruit, United Telephone Company, and all these American corporations which had gone down into Cuba under Batista, who was the president, and made deals that were good for these U.S. corporations and were good for Batista, the president of Cuba, but it was not good for the Cuban people. So for Fidel Castro, when he won his revolution, he announced that, I forget the exact, he was taking over, control of the things going on, the gambling and all this type of stuff, taking it, over. And of course, American corporations and politicians, and especially people like Vice President Nixon, was, communism, communism. And Castro said, no, we just need to control our own, we need to have control over businesses and corporations and things that are here. And, the U.S. Investors will be welcome here. And, their property will not be, seized, and they'll get, a return. If it's necessary, they'll get a return on their investment, all this type of stuff, which did no good, to the to the corporations and Richard Nixon. And anyway, then the right-wing Republicans and the anti-communist lunatic fringe, which it basically, we had trouble with, with the USSR and with the USSR taking over, the satellite countries, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Albania, and all those that they took over because of World War II, and they had troops there, and all, the history, look it up if you want to look it up, So, the uproar was just tremendous, attacking Fidel Castro and communism. So Fidel Castro loaded up an airplane, of course with permission, to come to the United States to talk to President Eisenhower and explain his point of view and everything. So the plane flew to the United States with everything was arranged, Well, yeah, it was arranged. And instead of like another head of state, any other head of state coming, when Fidel Castro came with his plane, with his, I don't know, Secretary of State and all these people, it landed and they couldn't get off the airplane. And they were, I think, on the airplane for, I might be wrong on how long, it's been a while, They were on the airplane for a long time with no air conditioning and without any, without anything. I mean, it was like, fuck you guys for showing up here, You with that khaki type, military type of thing, and with your beard, and stuff like that. How dare you show up here? Finally, they let him off the plane and hopefully gave him some type of, hi, I'm the under Secretary of State, the Secretary of State for, does whatever, doesn't want to talk to your fucking communist ass, I'm not sure that was the exact quote, So Fidel Castro wants to, meet with Ike Eisenhower, President Eisenhower. And Eisenhower, I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, but I was alive and I remember, and I was into politics, then. I mean, I wasn't running for office or anything, but politics has been something I've been interested in. I think Eisenhower would have wanted to meet with the president of Cuba and, work things out. Eisenhower brought up the thing of people to people, and when Eisenhower was president, the people to people. In fact, I was one of the founders of the People to People organization in Kansas City, Missouri. Wanted to and the people-to-people organization is still going on. Sister cities programs, all that type of stuff. But the Republicans were screaming here in the United States at Eisenhower, "Don't you fucking dare meet with that communist, whatever." Anyway, I think that if I don't remember exactly how long, I'm not even going to put the link to you, for you. Look it up. Go to Wikipedia. I think he was here for about 2 weeks. He traveled across the United States. He went to Disney World or something, I mean, he was having Fidel Castro was having a hell of a time, but he was wanting to meet the President of the United States. And the Republicans just made it clear that President Eisenhower, you better, and Eisenhower was a Republican. Well, he wasn't really a Republican, but he was elected as a Republican president. He'd been a general or an officer all his life in the military, and then the 5-star general and the whole bit. And he really wasn't political, but when he became elected as a Republican president, the Republicans let him know, do you want a second term? Do you want a second term? You better not meet with that Castro. So Eisenhower sends Vice President Nixon eventually to meet with Fidel Castro. And I don't think we really know what was said or whatever, but we know about Richard Nixon, later to be a president, Republican president. Richard Nixon went back, and like I said, we don't know exactly. I don't think it was ever spelled out what Nixon's statement was, but I think he went back and he told President Eisenhower, "Oh yeah, he's a communist. Oh yeah, he's going to fuck us over. Yeah, he's going to, he's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to he's going to seize every, he's going to just be. It's going to be terrible, And then Eisenhower, and then finally, Fidel Castro goes back to Cuba and starts setting up his government, but it's been made clear to him, I guess before his airplane probably lands in Havana, that the United States is going to do everything it can, as it's done in the past. You can expect, they're going to do everything they can to make sure you're overthrown, make sure you're assassinated, and everything else. So, yes, when Fidel Castro couldn't work something out with the United States, he worked it out with the USSR. Ended up putting missiles, talked the USSR to putting missiles into Cuba aimed at the United States, and that was just about, that was a Cuban Missile Crisis, and it was just about the end of the world. Luckily, we got out of it somehow. But here it is. Cuba should have been handled a long time ago, and there shouldn't be any conflict between us, and things should be, but here we still, and they've affected because of the Cubans who went to Florida, especially to Miami, and Florida's a Republican state because, then they still carry on, the Cubans about, Cuba, instead of wanting their homeland, hey, let's be nice if we could, if, I could have my house here in Cuba and my job in the United States, and I could have, instead of that, it's been, and they've caused the United States, the Cubans in Florida and the politics down there. Florida has been, in fact, I was living in Florida when Al Gore actually should have won Florida, which it's generally agreed, but this could be debatable. Actually, that Al Gore did carry Florida, but Bush, claims that that he did, and it ended up going to the Supreme Court and on should we do a recount or whatever, and it went to the Supreme Court, and all of the Republican Supreme Court justices who were appointed by a Republican president, they voted no, 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 no need to do this extra counting here. Bush won, and there was other things. A Bush, I think a relative of the Bush was working for Fox News, and I forget the exact details, but he was in charge of the the network, the Fox News network counting system. When they pop up, you're watching the TV and it pops up and says, CNN declares, New Hampshire for so and so or whatever. Well, these things it was just like razor sharp. They were, and it was kind of interesting because everybody was kind of surprised, Then it popped up, that Fox News declares that Bush has won Florida and has whatever it was enough, has won the election. And then apparently CNN and ABC and all the rest of them were like, well, what, Fox News has declared and whatever, and so they, okay, so now CNN does it, and whatever, and it turned out, and there was other stuff like that, so it was a mess. So, how did I get on that subject? I do not know. I never, I'm a liberal for sure. It never occurred, I just thought it was so, it says here another bank ditches the overdraft fees. If you write a check, or it wouldn't have to be a check, it could be use your card or something rather. If you have an overdraft, if you don't have enough money in the bank, they charge you an overdraft fee. And, the bank may go ahead and cover that for you. Or I don't think I've ever had, well, I'm sure I had, but here in started to say Florida, in Texas, and where I was before and stuff. What it is, I tell my bank you can take the money out of the savings account, and you can also take it out of. I have a credit card with the bank. You can take it out of there and whatever, and so I don't have to. I don't think they charge me a fee for that, except taking out of the credit card. Then I have to pay interest. Not only that, when they do that, you pay some type of you pay a fee because you're not if you use the bank credit card to buy something, you're not paying the bank, but you're like using that as money. So anyway, but it never occurred to me. Anyway, when you have an overdraft, the bank charges you fees, and I don't know how much. But that's going to make it worse if you were short of money in the bank for some reason, and then they take out these fees. depending on your financial situation, maybe your direct deposit. And years and years ago, uh, when direct deposit went where your paycheck could go, which was years and years ago. I signed up for that immediately. I thought that was great. And then one time, the hospital I worked at, and the money always went in, every 2 weeks, and always went in. I forget, can't remember now, but it was always available. And on the payday, it was in the bank. And this one payday, they had computer troubles or whatever, and it didn't go in till, instead of being available when I woke up in the morning, it didn't go in till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. But and I didn't have anything that bounced. But what I had was living paycheck to paycheck. I had, I think I had 2 of my kids with me then. Anyway, that was like, it was payday, so I said, okay, we got to do the laundry, and then we're going to go to the mall, and then we're going to go to a movie, and then I'm going to buy you, that's the way it was, with me and my kids. So anyway, I woke up and boom, almost zero money in the bank. But I had enough money to do and change to do the laundry, so we went to the laundry and did the laundry, and then I was checking. I still didn't have the money in the bank. I had a few dollars. I went next door to 7-Eleven or Quick Trip and bought a scratch-off ticket. And $1 ticket or something, and scratched it off. Maybe I bought like 3 of them or something, maybe $5 tickets. Anyway, I scratched off, and I think I won $40 or something. So I took the kids to eat, and I think it was just one kid. I think it was Jimmy. Yeah, I think it was just Jimmy. So we went and got something to eat. We went to the mall, and I bought him something and whatever. But it never occurred to me that banks shouldn't charge overdraft fees. I think I thought, well, it's ridiculous that it's so much, and that type of thing. But I see here that a bank now is also stopping overdrafts. But I clicked on this before, and it's only 2 bank, and I don't think I've ever heard of either one of these banks, But that's a great thing if they would just not charge for overdraft fees. What else is going on here? Another officer who was oh, that's going to keep doing that because it's my battery. I'm using a battery for my speakers here. See if I can get this plugged in over here. Okay. It charges with USB. Where was I? Oh, it says here an officer who responded to the January 6th attack on the Congress has committed suicide, and he's the 3rd one to die by suicide. So So it sounds like he was with the Metro, not with the Capitol Police, who guard the Capitol, whatever. They also have the Metro Police or whatever who responded. Yeah, Metropolitan Police Department. He joined the department in 2003. A D.C. police officer who responded to the U.S. Capitol insurrection has died by suicide. He was assigned to the emergency response team within the Special Operations Division. Was found deceased in his residence on Thursday, July 29th. He joined the he joined in 2003, and he responded on January 6th to the Capitol. Quote, "We are grieving as a department, and our thoughts and prayers are with Officer Hashda, family, and friends. This is the third known suicide of an officer who responded to the Capitol during the attack, and it's the second known suicide by a D.C. officer specifically." And they go on to, I'll put a link to this. Kathy Griffin announces she has lung cancer. Anyway, did I cover what I wanted to cover? I think I did. I talked about Amazon Pharmacy. The good thing about Amazon Pharmacy is, well, it's the delivery. They're delivering UPS, I think. I haven't got anything from them, but my ex-wife, she has a medication that Walgreens has stopped carrying. She's had trouble getting it. She'd contact the pharmacy, and they'd say, "Oh, we don't have it. We don't keep it here, or whatever." And it's gotten, and she needs to take it, and it's injectable. And finally, she was late getting it, or hadn't got it, and finally Walgreens said, "We're not going to be carrying it." Well, they weren't carrying it, and then it was available at a few Walgreens, and then the pharmacy person said, Walgreens is not going to carry that medicine anymore. So, and Darlene was able to get it delivered from Amazon Prime. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll put the link to this. Okay, how many police officers responded? How many suicides would you expect out of a force of that number in such and such amount of time, or something like that? But clearly, these officers suffered unbelievable trauma and all kinds of problems, and I mean, when I say trauma, I mean the thing of Republican congressmen and congresswomen, saying, this wasn't an insurrection. It was just the same as a regular tourist day, and other, things that, instead of, we support these police officers who, which is kind of strange because, Republicans supposedly love the police, and they stand with the blue, and blue lives matter. And that is all a bunch of, it's all a bunch of bullshit. Uh, it's just, rhetoric that we know they will use if it suits them, and if it doesn't suit them, they'll. And so, not only were these people beaten and sprayed with mace and chemical agents and bear spray and all this kind of stuff, not only did they have to endure that, but they're having to endure, threats from the right wing against them and lies about what took place and just all of this. So they have uh, the worst kind of a situation for them that that they could have. Uh, anyway, thank you for watching.